Hello viewers, I'm SB and welcome back to Humankind, where today the glowing Stegosaurus is going to lead us into a glorious new age. So let's check our troops against their troops. Let's make sure we understand the positions of everything here. So they have a pair of warriors, but we have two armies in the area, and one of them is made up of all the troops, the Acadians, who are a little bit higher tech than the rest of our stuff. So it should be no problem to declare war and then immediately jump these dudes. They also have a warrior and a warrior, excuse me, like up there, over here, and a scout over there. So yeah, it shouldn't be a big deal for us to just, defeat all of these troops in very short order, I would think. That's right, we do have units up here. They should probably report. We don't need them. We don't need to keep showing green that we have military strength. They'll probably notice our expanding border. So it's going to take y'all a little while to get where you're going, but another warrior, that'll be nice. We have armies up here. I mean, all we're really trying to do is ransack this. So this is not a two-army job. Y'all can just run down here and prepare. Sadly, we won't be able to catch these armies this turn. And then, yeah, I think it's about time to declare. I guess we should probably figure out what our new culture is before we do that. So that group of stars that we picked up there has catapulted us into a pretty solid second place. Pink is still ahead, but they're not ahead by so much. It would be over 300 influence for us to get the next aesthete star, and all of the other stars we're looking at are even further away than that. Yeah, I don't think... because that's going to be like 6 or 7 turns of sitting here, right? I don't think that's worth it. I think we got to move on. So, let's talk about moving on. We have the option that the Nubians took here, culturally transcending, just keeping our culture and getting... okay, it does say what it is. It is a 10% fame multiplier, a plus 10% fame multiplier. Oh, but it's a legacy trait. That's interesting. See, this is not a thing that I had done at any point during any of the betas. I thought that it was just a fame score increasing modifier for the next era, but this is something that you would hold on to through the rest of the game. So that's an interesting strategy. Culturally transcending in the second real era, the classical era, and then moving to the post-classical era as quickly as possible so that you can get a real culture back, but maintain the transcendence bonus throughout the last 2/3 of the game. That's definitely more compelling. We're not going to be doing it, but it's more compelling for sure. So the Achaemenid Persians, perhaps, are gone already. That's an expansionist. Somebody took the Huns and the Celts as well. So what are we left with? We do have access to the Romans here. So they are an expansionist empire. They get bonus fame from the stars for... gaining new territories that are attached to cities. Honestly, maybe an interesting idea for us. We are about to declare war, and it's a war that we expect to do very well in. So we might be able to finish out an expansionist star or two very quickly here. Can forcibly annex territories occupied by other empires' outposts and administrative centers. That's interesting, and then maybe we could just take the brown outpost up north and run our troops forward instead of leaving them there to annex or to ransack it and then build our own outpost, which is going to take, I don't know how many turns, but it's going to be more than a couple probably. And then of course that always trespassing thing. +1 unit slot available for each army. And remember, this is the legacy trait, so we will retain this for the rest of the game. That seems very powerful, just like logistically speaking. Getting to start every battle with more troops on the field than your opponent does is a big deal. A reduction in the gold cost of upkeeping armies is cool. The emblematic district is just influence and stability. Cities become victorious after, sometimes as a result of events, but mostly as a result of winning wars, as you might imagine. So it's like a limited time buff. This seems fine. It's like Yeah, it's fine. That's really the only word for it. And then Praetorian Guards. So a 30 strength military unit is pretty strong relative to the other stuff in this era, if I remember correctly. Rear attack bonus applies whenever an ally is adjacent to the target, no matter their position, is awesome. You get all the benefits of flanking without all the tricky positioning. And they only require 1 iron to build. We have 4 strategic resource deposits that we do not yet know what they are. Some of them could be iron. So this might be really good. We need to research Imperial Power. Let's look at the tech tree really quickly here. Yeah, the fact that we've researched everything from this era, another very compelling reason to move on already. So mounted warfare is here. I know many of the elephant type units are on mounted warfare, which is a pretty quick research once we get into era 2. Imperial Power is very, very late in the era. I guess it's only a 3rd tier technology. You go standing army and then conquest, but still it's later. All right, that's interesting. What about the Maya? The Maya are builders. So this is we'd get bonus fame for the stars for building districts. +2 industry for every citizen assigned to industry in every city forever. Obviously, very, very good. The Kuna is going to be amazing in our capital. Actually, all of our cities are multi-territory cities at the moment. So yeah, this seems very, very strong. +4 industry per adjacent maker's quarter. Yeah, that's just awesome. That's just really, really, really good. And their unique unit is only 25 combat strength, but it's a ranged unit. It has a poison that reduces the attack range of other units, so specifically it's a good ranged unit, and it doesn't require any strategics. I think the Maya are strong contenders. That's probably immediately more compelling than the Romans. This is a very, very good set of bonuses. The Morians. So we'd be able to maintain our aesthete bonus and thus the grace that is potentially powering some of our alliances here. Or some of our relationships, rather. +1 influence on emblematic district is immediately good for us. We have a whole bunch of emblematic districts. The stupa gives influence and faith and science and more influence, and it counts as wow. Wow, that's a pretty good one. And then they have elephant units. They ignore the normal ranged unit strength penalty for melee combat. They are 30 strength. They're attached to mounted warfare, and they don't have any strategic cost. 6 speed, 3 range. Yeah, that's just a very, very good military unit. Okay, so far, all 3 of the choices seem wonderful. The Goths gain bonus fame for the killing enemy unit stars, which, again, may be a thing that we are in pretty good position to get a couple of very quickly here. Can periodically call upon patriots to take up arms in defense of the motherland. I don't know exactly what that means. I'm sure it's like spawning units, but we don't know the particulars of that. +10 combat strength when ransacking. 10 is a tremendous, terrifying amount. But obviously, that's a pretty narrow circumstance. Plus influence on garrisons does nothing for us at the moment because we haven't built any. Their emblematic district is fine. It does not exploit any of the resources of the tiles that it's on or around. Yeah, I don't know. Bonus combat strength when fighting on enemy districts is pretty cool, but that unit requires 2 iron and horses. Yeah, I think the Goths are probably off the table. Carthaginians probably also. We're really not making a lot of money right now. We're not going to get these stars very quickly. Minus buyout cost on constructibles is fine at best. The Kothon is really cool and powerful, but it's a harbor replacement, and we have really not that much coastal territory. And yeah, I just don't. The Kothon is awesome. It counts as a farmer's quarter and a market quarter and a maker's quarter for adjacency purposes. That's very neat. But we have no call for this. And then their unique unit is another great big terrifying war elephant. Okay, yeah, not really a good fit for us. What about the Greeks? The Greeks have scientist affinity, which is great for us. Our science output is very, very high. We're going to get those stars in a real hurry. So we could get a lot of fame off of taking the Greeks. +2 science per researcher, so that's any citizen who is assigned to make science in any city. Plus influence and science per era, so right now, this would be a 2 influence, 6 science building, plus an additional 2 science for every adjacent district, and then it just gets better as it gets older. And it counts as a research quarter for adjacency. This seems... It does not exploit anything by itself, though. That makes sense. It would have to not. And then the hoplite requires copper, which we don't yet have, but we're in the process of gaining access to. Also, the Nubians might have copper that we could buy from them. Powerful anti-cavalry bonus, gains additional combat strength just for standing next to other hoplites. I have to research the standing army technology. Where is that? Oh, it's right. Okay, it's one of the first texts. I mean, I think that's very compelling. I think the Greeks fit with a lot of what we're doing here. And then the Axumites. Again, merchant, probably not a great fit. +2 money on any tile that produces money is really cool as a bonus because you don't have to do anything to take advantage of it. It's like 100% passive, which is nice. This just produces money and also faith. You know, and also money. Yeah, I don't know. It doesn't seem bad, but it doesn't seem like a good fit for us. The unit requires iron. Yeah, okay, so I think realistically, I think it's probably like Greeks versus Maya. I think we're going to make a lot of fame as the Greeks. I think if we take the Maya, we'll probably make less fame because we'll get our stars a little bit slower. But in the long term, we're going to end up with a lot of construction power. I just don't know if I think that's necessarily better. I kind of like the Greeks. I think the hoplite is a very solid military option for us. Yeah, let's go Greek. So you can see the avatar's dress updates. We'll see our units and our buildings change as well. And... Right, we're going to declare war before the end of the turn. Do we have enough? Yes, we have plenty of war support, in fact. Bad news, friend. This will grant them 20 war support, being the defensive party in a war.
You give me no choice.
Religious conversions. Yes, the rules for how religious conversion work are a little bit different. When you're at war, you can see they're able to take better control of their territory. What grievance has been generated?
Haircut?
Oh, okay. So we can compel our ally to join the war. We've been given a grievance against our ally because they're like, how could you be at peace with my enemy? And if we demand, they may declare war or they may just, get grumpy about it. I don't necessarily see a reason to create any friction in the relationship, and I don't think we need them. So for the moment, I'm just going to let this grievance sit here. If the war starts turning against us, we may come knocking. But does yellow have an army? Well, they have this. Okay, so that's a fair group of units, but it looks like that's really it, right? Oops, didn't mean to click on that. As they also have a scout. But yeah, really, they just have the one army. I think we'll be fine without them. So, let's start doing damage. We get to attack from uphill, which is pretty great. They don't have anything else in the area.
Time to see what happens when foreign cultures get together and decide to murder each other.
Oh, these guys are running in. They would like to participate. Are they going to make it? They do not quite have enough movement, it looks like. So yeah, we have this army plus the hunting party as reinforcements. Our opponent is, just two warriors. Should be pretty straightforward. Is this a river? What is... Oh, no, these are roads. Okay, yeah, so we can stand on these tiles. That's fine. Well, let's ball up for morale purposes, but I guess
Come over here.
we don't need anybody to be standing on the low ground, right? Here, yeah, we'll stack up together for maximum morale bonus, and let's see what they do. Okay, they're just playing pretty far back. So our reinforcements can emerge from this tile. We can just or press a button here to pop them out. I don't know that it's necessary to do so. I kind of think for this first turn, maybe we just... Oh, wait a minute. Do they? Huh, I thought those units did not quite make it into the battle, but it looks like after we deployed, the area of the battle was one space larger than I was expecting. Okay, so they could have... Oh, and this is a mercenary army. These are probably troops that they hired from one of the two independent peoples in the area. So we may want to change our positioning a little bit then. Yeah, let's back up. I'm gonna put the archers on the super high ground, and we'll just rain fire down here. Can I pull my spears back to there? We won't be able to attack down the cliff, obviously, but... Oh, sorry, that was a... There we go. Right click, not left click. Okay, that's a pretty good high roll. And then... So I'm gonna back this unit up to here. If we leave that unit right there, then they can stand up here and fight us on even ground. If we do it this way, they can stand here and fight this unit on even ground, but then we immediately retaliate in a very serious way. And I think I'm not going to pull out my hunting party units just yet, because we'd have to stand on the river to fight them and stuff. We'll just keep those in reserve for the moment. We don't have to add them to the battle at the beginning. So yep, they are deploying the mercenaries. I mean, that makes sense. That's why they hired them. Yep, fighting uphill, not so good. Presumably, though, they're trying to avoid the situation. Oh, nope, they're just setting up to be in the situation with a different unit. So at this point, deploying my hunting party units will get me some flanking bonuses. So let's go ahead and do that. Oops, clicking outside the battle. I clicked on the city. Or the outpost, rather. So I can get to here. That's a little awkward. I can't quite make it to the position I really... Well, whatever. We can deploy one to this position. That's pretty solid. That gets us a real good flank here. Let's just take this right now. We know we want to do that. That's just a free high ground attack. I think we'll use the archers here to soften this one up before we go for this, since our unit is injured and everything. Okay, and that was actually kills, which I'm a little surprised by. So I probably shouldn't. It feels like a pretty bad attack. Our hunting party units are gonna get wrecked a little bit. Boy, what do I want to do? I guess we could place one of the hunting party units here. We can reduce the effectiveness of this guy's attack out onto the river by doing that, running our spearman unit down here, and then getting a nice flanking attack. Just trying to keep their attacking strength low on these units. And then if I did deploy another hunting party here, I mean, it's just plus morale for everybody. Right, let's get all of these units out and providing that +1 strength bonus to each other. But now that we have another flank, still pretty bad. Their unit has a higher base combat strength, and yeah, I think we don't actually attack here. We'll let them run in because we get that defending combat strength bonus for these units because they have not done any attacking this combat. So yep, they're gonna go for flanks themselves. That makes sense. It's pretty good though. We got them to really tank their positioning for that. Okay, so
come over here.
Let's have you step down here. You move to here and take the flank attack. And also provide a flank for this attack. This is a little ugly. And we're not going to be able to take advantage of that guy's positioning. But yeah, we can set up for this. Okay. I guess there's an argument that I should have waited until next turn to do that. Because those kills could have counted toward next era's first militarist star. But I also think there's a lot of benefit in just taking care of that army before it has a chance to move. And then we'll pick up these other armies that are in our territory. Let's start on the ransack here. How long is that going to take? 4 turns, and it's going to yield $43. All right. I don't see them anymore. They were over here, right? We probably just have lost vision. And then there's this one, who we are not going to be able to access very quickly because unfortunately we were only able to move adjacent to the river. Whatever, we'll get him. It's fine. I guess with that, let's move on to the next culture.
New ideas lead to new strategies, and I'm sure the Greeks will spend time arguing the merits of them all.
Yeah, so all of our little buildings, even to some extent, like the style of the roads and the exploitation tiles change, except the Confucian schools, which remain the same. All right, you know what? No, I should have clicked the Go to Empire screen button there probably. Well, let's. Okay, they're moving in. They want to do a thing right away. Yep, they rode up on us with some. Okay, we'll play that out in just a second here. So yeah, you go ahead and make your entire move. Y'all catch these dudes. Yeah, we'll be right with you. Yeah, I guess that army needs to stay where they are. I'm just making sure we get all of the fights that we want to do locked in here. Okay, so let's have a look at our new Empire screen. So 5 technologies to our first scientist star. It'll be 150 if we can get there quickly. We would need to kill 8 total military units to move up to the next star, assuming that value would have been the same, that it would have been 8 from the 0 that we had before. We would be halfway there. Like, I may have cost us a star by conducting that attack prior to moving up, but I think it's probably, in the end, going to be worth it, just for the speed of depleting their armies. So technologically, I think it makes a lot of sense for us to focus on standing army. First of all, get our hoplite online. Secondly, discover the iron that is potentially in our midst. Oh, no, okay, we can see the iron already, we just can't interact with it yet. Well, we'll fix that. And also, I wanted to talk to the Nubians real quick.
See you.
Yes, we're all good friends here. Do y'all have copper? Okay, I would love to buy access to the copper, please.
The world comes a bit closer together.
It is going to be a
thanks to
minute.
the first trade link that will bring shiny baubles and greedy vendors.
It is going to be just a minute before we have access to copper ourselves, the old-fashioned way, and I want to get started on that technology, or started building those units in 2 turns the moment we can. So, yeah, let's do these battles. So we've got our reinforcements. What exactly are they coming at me with? No reinforcements, at least as far as we can tell. Oh, you know what? It may have been the case that we didn't have the reinforcements visible on the pre-battle screen because that army was in a tile we didn't have vision of when we were making the fight or retreat decision. That makes sense. So they could have reinforcements here too. It's possible that they brought more units than this. If they didn't bring more units than this, it doesn't really make a lot of sense for them to do this, I think. So what is your deal? You generate additional money when destroying camps. Okay. Ignores enemy zones of control. That doesn't seem like such a big deal. All right, let's try it. Let's take them. Have they turned out to have reinforcements? Nope. They're reliant on the strength of their cavalry units. Well, we do have these spears, which will help with that, obviously.
Follow me.
Let's take control of the high ground that's near the low ground. So because we're the defender here, we have this glowing flag tile. If they take control of the flag tile, we lose. So this is what prevents defending armies from just fleeing attacking armies inside of the battle. We do have position to defend here. And as you can see, just like a tremendous amount of benefit to being the attacker, of course, getting to go first. It's worth an awful lot. So I think we may have this unit step back so that we can have the anti-cav unit step in and do some damage. Oh, I did it again. I don't want to click on that. I want to click on this. There we go. So I can create a flank. I cannot create the flank that I want anywhere, sadly. All right, we'll figure that out in a second. So I think I'm going to just draw you back a step, move you to here, move you to here. We definitely want to attack downhill on these cavalry. Oh yeah, look at that. 8-point combat strength bonus from countering a unit correctly. I think I'm going to use... Let's use the arrows to soften up these guys. Pretty good damage roll there. Fairly lucky. Again, fairly lucky. I wish you could get the... Wish you could make it to the flanking position. We're like 1 point of movement, 2 points of movement short. So you'll notice moving away from this unit is costing us extra because we are leaving its zone of control, which is what the little tooth on the edge of the grid says there. Which is why we would only get to move 2 units or 2 spaces with this unit. All right, I guess we'll just move to here. We're still low on combat strength. We might just basically form that same shape that we formed last battle. Let's go ahead and take this because this is huge. They did really well on their damage roll there too, which is a shame. Boy, there's this other high ground over here. We could set up units on the high ground to be a little bit less vulnerable to counterattacks. And then because they're further back, it's less likely they'll be in anybody's zone of control and they can just race to whatever flanking positions they need next turn. I think I'm going to do that. Oh, did I hit end? I didn't mean to. I was intending to place a unit in that position for obvious reasons. Okay, well, obviously, we have some pretty easy kills here. This is awkward, though. Because I really don't want to attack this guy with the spears. Yeah, alright. Just run down. I want to use my warrior to finish this off, so let's pull a reinforcement unit for the flank. Because I definitely want to use my archers on cavalry. We're going to have a hard time hitting this cavalry for very much otherwise. Okay, not bad. So, you already spent all your movement. If I pull you, can you make it? You can make it to here. All right. Still a pretty unfavorable attack. Scouts versus real combat units is always going to be bad. You can see the base combat strength of their unit is 9 points higher than mine. It looks like the likely outcome here is that both of our units will die. And honestly, trading a scout for an Assyrian raider, it's probably... Oh, hey, we narrowly lived. Yeah, that's probably right. So you moved already. Why is the round not automatically over? Do I have somebody who can still do stuff? I don't think so. Okay, I'm gonna... Spent a moment there considering his options. Okay, not great for you, friend.
Off we go. Come over here.
Okay, that should be a pretty mighty bonus there. Alright, so as long as we win battles, our war support goes up. Losing battles, of course, is making the enemy's war support go down. Sorry, that's not what I meant. I meant zoom in to that screen.
Come, relax.
So yeah, you can see. Obviously, we can just push through and take all their stuff, but also we can win the war by driving their war support low enough that their people are threatening to rebel if they don't quit, and then accepting the very, very valuable surrender offer. They just have 2 units, right? Yeah, 2 better units, but 2 units. Let's not start on the low ground. How about that? I want my warriors up there. Here we go. Yeah, we're definitely going to be using the scouts as lures a little bit here. So again, because we're the attacker, you can see they have a flag here that we can try to capture. I'm surprised at how little vision we have. I do not like it. I do not much care for this very small amount of vision. Why is my warrior taking a river penalty? The tile that I'm in is not river. I wonder if it has something to do with the tile that we declared the battle from. I'm going to run one of the scouts over here. Okay, just providing vision. So they started this other unit way back somewhere.
Follow me.
All right, I'm just gonna step on your flag, and I don't remember exactly how this works in terms of how much time they have to get it back, but they are now definitely, it behooves them to get it back. And I guess this attack is pretty ugly. It could be that that tooltip is in error. It may be that I do not actually have the crossing river debuff, but now granted, we have put our scout, our fairly vulnerable scout, in a position where it is flanked, and that's bad. Let's go ahead and roll the dice here, I guess. Okay, 1918. That broke pretty even. Even with you being wounded, you still have a massive combat strength advantage. So let's end turn here. Yeah, they gotta make moves to preserve their flag. Now he no longer has the defending bonus because he attacked, so we can get a little bit better damage in, but not that much better. Jeez. You know, warriors, they're a lot better at this thing than scouts are. I should have done this earlier because I could have been providing bonus morale to my allies here. Yeah, the crossing river bonus is not applying in a way that's entirely intuitive to me. Well, I do believe I'm just gonna hit end round here. Let's see what happens. Okay, so they're very wounded. They're able to retake the tile. I would like to keep the warriors fresher if I can. Still, like, a pretty reasonable amount of damage we may take there. Alright, I don't think it probably makes sense to attack. Yeah, they have quite a combat strength bonus on us. Alright, so this battle has expended its 3 rounds. It is up to 2 turns in length. So we have to wait until next game turn to complete it. I really like this idea of big battles that span multiple turns, and I know that as the game gets later, people sort of like ramp up the complexity and the logistics capacity of their armies. This stuff can really sprawl out. It's one of the things that I am most interested in seeing in the long game. So we're going to get there. This is going to get long enough for us to see that stuff. Do I want to pull? Boy, we have a lot of injuries already. I mean, granted, we've taken down quite a number of enemy troops. But I probably want to merge some of the people from these armies. Wait, why are you exhausted? Maybe serving as reinforcements in a combat action exhausts you? That makes sense. So where's the actual outpost is here, right? The administrative center. So we probably want to try to threaten that. But like, since I'm waiting for my friends to catch up, how long would it take to ransack this? 3 turns would be, wow. It'd be worth a lot of money to do so, though. Ah, but it will disrupt Assyrian trade with the Nubians, and the Nubians will have a problem with that. And I don't really want to sit here for 3 turns. I guess it's cancel. Never mind. I guess we'll just wait here for the rest of our units to be able to catch up. Okay, that guy has not moved at all, which is weird. So no, you're good for this turn. Feng Hao needs to build stuff. We still have the Temple of Artemis that we do want to get constructed at some point. But kind of want to put down an amphitheater. An amphitheatron. So, yeah, we have districts here and here already. So putting one down here is worth an awful lot. Yeah, that does seem... Because, like, we want to get our research speed going, right? We want those research stars. We should also remember, as scientists, we have this ability to turn all of the industry and money from a city into science for 5 turns. That obviously is going to help with research pushes. And because we are a science affinity culture, we're allowed to research stuff in the next era. So once we cap out the use of our science points for this era, we can just keep moving. So I don't know exactly how likely it is that that's going to be a big deal for us. I did... Looks like maybe I was wrong. I think it did pull the Confucian school out of the queue there. Because I thought we had queued one. And actually here as well. Okay. So that's different than the last build I played. Good information. Had I known that was going to happen, I think we still would have moved up the era, because sitting in the first era was going to be wasting all of our science output, which is considerable, right? It's one of the strengths of our empire at this point, and having us falling behind the other players, and yeah, it was still right to move up. It's just a shame that we didn't get all of the benefits. All right, well, finish that, and then probably flood irrigation. There's quite a few river tiles. Yeah. Yeah, that probably makes sense. The capital... Oh, no, the capital's finishing its Confucian school. Maybe it's stuff that's beyond a certain... Or stuff that's actually started building. Yeah, because I think the 2 Confucian schools that we had tried to place... We had prepared to place in this city were just sitting in the queue waiting for the fountain to be finished. I'm pretty sure. Okay. So yeah, that's cool. We should definitely... build artisans' quarters. What do we have that's unquartered? Oh, okay. There was a silk that was yet ungrabbed. We should definitely grab both of those. And then, when those are done, it'll be time to build hoplites. Actually, when the first one of those is done, we may cancel the second one and just start building the hoplites there. So yeah, apologies for the parts that I don't know. Like I said, I played in some of the previous beta phases, but obviously things change from build to build, and we're all sort of feeling the game out together. I don't know, I'm apologizing for not being an expert at a video game that's not out yet. Maybe that's a little silly on my part, actually. Violence is happening all over the place, really. Ah, these neutrals are ransacking my horses. Well, that's annoying for them to be doing that. I wish they would stop. And for some reason, they have run up a single raider. Well... I really want to try to avoid using the injured units, you know? Can I Yeah, let's lead the attack with this army. Now, granted, this time we do have the low ground. How much movement around can I do? I guess we can at least attack from this angle. I'll make things a little bit cleaner for us. Okay, they chose to retreat. So when an army gets attacked, you may have noticed there's a fight button, but there's also a retreat button. An army that retreats does a full move away from combat. It gains the exhausted state, so it cannot move anymore that turn, and it cannot retreat again. And then if you really want to catch it with a second army and destroy it on the spot, that is a thing you are allowed to do. It is not generally necessary, but an enemy retreating from you also increases your population's war support and decreases their population's war support. So it is a thing that has a long-term strategic cost that sometimes you really can't afford. Gosh, I wish we had an archer over here. All right, so I don't get to redeploy. We're still just carrying on this battle. Can you make it to here? Not this turn. Okay. I'm just thinking if we could put a unit down here, we could have my warrior attack from this space into them with the flanking bonus. That would be pretty good. I'm going to step back to here, I think. I'm going to see if I can draw them forward, and if they don't draw forward, then we execute that flank. They may just stay put on the flag. Interesting. Not at all what I was expecting. Okay, so this is mine now, obviously. They're going to just run over here and attack up the hill. I'm trying to figure out what is the best position for me to stand in to punish them after they do that. It's probably like this. Just be prepared to use this scout to provide a back attack. He decided attacking uphill was actually not that smart.
Off we go.
But why even back off the flag in general? I guess because, like, it's obvious that I was going to be able to launch a superior attack on the next turn. So we tried to maintain the security of the unit. But sadly, you do not get to do that and also survive the battle. Alright, so that was a pretty expensive victory for us, but it was a victory. Our attitude has changed.
Pleasure as always.
Bound. You feel like a long-lost sibling to them. This is even more positive than we were before. Cool. And we can offer up new treaties next turn. Okay, y'all are exhausted by participating in that battle. That makes sense and is fine. I'm still not going to ransack this. I'm going to have these units, I guess, fall back to friendly territory. We'll just like take a turn of healing while we wait for these guys, because I don't want to push forward piecemeal. I think it's pretty important that we do this in a very measured way. Okay, you're going to gain a fair amount next turn as well. It's all good. It's all good. Nothing strange is happening up here. So obviously, cool, great. This army needs to keep moving toward the front. Here comes that raider that we drove off earlier. Interesting maneuvers on their part. I wonder what the hell they think they're doing. Now that we have standing army, we have the option of purchasing upgrades. We have some units that can be upgraded, but obviously you can only do that if you have access to the relevant resources. Now that we have standing army, we can... Oh, no, that's a COD that can do that. We can go ahead and get this iron mine running, and I reckon we probably ought to. Yeah, that takes precedent, I think. Because the upgrade from warrior to swordsman is like very significant, right? Warriors are 19 strength and swordsmen are 26. Our spearmen should also be upgradable now, and we can probably actually afford that. Oh, also, we can just buy their health back, which I think I do want to do. I didn't even realize that was on the table. So can I do both? Okay, buying you up does heal you. Okay, it's sort of like the idea is you're replenishing the unit by hiring new soldiers or something. Probably there's a way to justify that flavorfully. But yeah, now we have a force that's a little bit more impressive. 28 base combat strength, even without any phalanx stuff. This unit is gonna dominate the field for the moment, until they can show up with something a little bit mightier. Yeah, Assyrian raiders are not going to be much of a problem. So I think what we want to do is just push forward toward their outpost here. Just take this. I guess, yeah, let's have you stand here, kind of shields from the flanking attack. The raiders do not want to run into that. All right. We probably don't need to be told every time that happens. And let's queue up. So, building units costs population. Right? You got to get the bodies for the soldiers from somewhere. So we want to be very careful here. We don't want to overdo it. But we probably are going to need at least a couple more hoplites to get this done. I do want to get that birth next turn if we can, but let's move as many people over to industry as we can while maintaining that. All right. Let's try to make this build as efficient as possible.
Generous.
Yellow would like to share logistics. Okay, I'm into it. What is... All right, let's me do the money for heals and upgrade stuff in their territory. I like it. Now I can propose, what if we both had plus 5% science? Remarkably, they love that idea. Of course they do. Yeah, and then we'll get... Oh, we can spend influence to sidestep the cooldown. That's interesting. I would in fact love the customs union if you would consider this. Beautiful. Actually wonderful stuff. Okay, and that cost rises. I mean, how much influence do we have? 205, and we're making 50 a turn. I'm gonna ask. Let's see if they're into it.
We feel this proposal would benefit all.
I like you. I agree.
All right.
Fantastic.
So in an alliance, it takes a little bit of time for you to acquire all of the cool stuff to really get maximum value out of your alliance, unless somebody has some influence that they're willing to cash in which case you can skip a lot of the wait, it turns out, which is very cool. Doing as well as we are doing on influence definitely makes a lot of elements of the game easier. It is good to have resource incomes, it turns out. I do wish we were doing a little bit better on money. So this is a really secure position. In order to get access to this, we're going to have to go a considerable amount around to the east, or... Oh, we can move... Sorry, we can move between their districts, right? They had to... Adjacent districts are always traversable, rather. Okay, so we can just run up, because they must have built an elevator or something. Cool. Okay, now that we have our troops, what is next? Okay, this is a bonus for defensive fighting. Plus ransack gains is kind of cool, but I probably want to go back to more infrastructure stuff, right? We can get additional food on rivers, even more than before. Bonus industry on river. That's a very compelling option. Another building that gives stability. Oh, city cap. Maybe we do it this way. I do really want to get our full influence gains back. And then of course I'm gonna try my best to steal a city from Brown, and so we're gonna be over our city cap again, but for a brief moment, it'll be so nice to be getting all of our resources. And we're pushing up on that militarist star pretty quickly. Oh, right, I want to make sure that we...
With 5 research quarters, you're going to run out of questions to answer.
Okay, a lot of very specific dialogue, it turns out, from our friend the narrator. Where do you think you're going? I have to imagine he retreats. He does not retreat. Okay. I see. He's got reinforcements. They're not going to make it over here in time, though. Yeah. Interesting. All right, well, get me vision up here. Okay. So we could just ransack this. This will be real bad for their war support. Am I allowed to transfer individual units out of the ransacking army? We don't need to leave. Okay, but it stops the ransack. All right, I'm going to leave 2 scouts behind to complete the ransacking. That does make it take longer, but we should have a real fighting force press forward here because I want to keep threatening them. Maybe making myself a little bit vulnerable to counterattack. That is complete. Okay, so this is no longer their region. Obviously, it needs to be my region. So let's put down a 425. Oh yeah, I guess I see. That's interesting. That is not much food, but boy, that's a lot of trees. Well, you know how our religion feels about trees. Y'all just keep running forward. I love our capital region. It's so awkward for movement. It's gonna be such a pain in the ass for anyone to ever attack us here. We have an event of some kind. A weave of iron and blood. In recognition of your elevated status on the world stage, a great artist has been accompanying you and your retinue as you travel the Empire and beyond. Now, many months later, the artist and their team have completed their great masterpiece, a brilliant tapestry that stretches the length of the palace. In its embroidered scenes are depicted great glories, marvelous cities, and the people's adulation of your rule. How should such a marvel best be used? That's a great question. So we can hang it on the outer walls of the palace so that all of our citizens may be inspired to build military units more quickly for 10 turns. Honestly, pretty relevant. Every army will carry a scene, so the fierceness of their love for the Empire is restored anew every day, +1 combat strength on all of our units for 10 turns. I like that better. Or we can just sell it. That feels disrespectful. Like, in addition to the fact that I don't think we need the money, that feels very mean-spirited. I kind of want to divide it up amongst my military units. So that axis isn't really doing anything yet. Yeah, 1 point of combat strength can make a big difference. Okay, and I don't really want to spend a lot of time building military units. Like, again, I think it's really important that we build exactly enough to get the job done. Now, we do have a bunch of stone fields around here, so probably the next build is stoneworks. If I move people over... Oh, we get negative on food, is what happens if I move people over. Never mind. Let's focus on food. It's much harder to maintain a high population in a city in this game than it is in a lot of other 4X games. The food formula is a lot tighter. Ooh, okay, hold on. We can see they do have some stuff coming. So they got chariots. Receives bonus combat strength when attacking non-adjacent enemies. So if they have to move to attack. And they have 23 base. Also, we can't actually see... these are independent people units. So yeah, they're buying access to a lot of mercenaries. They must have... Yes, they have some significant favor here with these people. Well, that's really working out in their favor. I don't think it's worth it for us to pour resources into this. Oh, I don't even have vision of these people. I can see them because yellow has vision of them. So I can't interfere even if I wanted to. But also I don't think I want to. My question is just, can this army reach you? They'd have to have a movement of 1, 2, 3, 4. That's a river, so they'd have to go up this way. So 5, 6 because of the woodland, 7, 8, like they'd have to have 9 movement at least. Probably not then. Okay. Yeah, so let's go ahead and do this fight. Their flag is on ground that is the same height as the ground that we are currently on. Yeah, I don't really know what to make of this. Let's just start it like this. Well, once again, they've decided that they don't really care about their flag. You know, I get it. They're trying to keep their units alive more than anything else. Yeah, that's a pretty favorable attack. At this point in the I expected this unit to retreat, but we're gonna have to look at the math on that. I wonder if the case is that they cannot retreat without completely tanking their war support to a dangerous level. I mean, they do have other units nearby. Maybe their plan is just like lose a battle and then win a battle right after and try to fix war support that way. I'm not going to move this unit. It's doing a fine job of providing 1 point of combat strength every turn. Oh, well, we didn't get him. Yeah, you can run in and finish the job, I guess. 27 damage for that. But I did want to get it done. So it's going to take them 5 more turns to finish that ransack. What are you? Are you both warriors? Well, okay, so we'll have a hoplite to help dispel them. We're going to want another hoplite. I feel fairly confident in that. Let's just go ahead and queue that up. It's going to take 3 turns. Can we get that down? Sadly, no. Well, I guess focus on replacing the lost population then. All right, let's see what happens here. Hold on, let me banish these. I know there's reasons for other players to care about this stuff. So we need 1 more unit for that star. Yeah, it looks like we'll probably still get it. We'll get it while it is still 100 before it's even had a chance to tick down a little. We're working on districts. We're kind of working on expansionism. It's going to take us a second to get there on the science thing.
Ransack. See the sights, appreciate the local culture, and take anything that's not nailed down.
How are the Assyrians doing on war support? Okay, it's plummeting. It's not in danger zone yet, but it's getting close. They need to start winning battles. That's my official advice to them.
This emblematic unit certainly appears to be ready to leave their mark on something or someone.
Oh, they just attacked me immediately. I was planning on merging my units up, but okay, if they just want to do this. I mean, I guess they are marked as aggressive units, right? Yeah, I'll stand and fight. I'm definitely going to deploy away from the tile that I that I was standing in when they attacked me. Let's play here. If they want to run down and fight me, they can do it from the river. Okay, and then a flank seems strategically pretty solid. Let's deploy some reinforcements. It turns out archers pretty bad at melee combat. Please finish them off. It's embarrassing that they survived that. Apparently those scouts trained at Cobra Kai. And we don't quite make it up onto the high ground here. Well, I'm a little bummed out at how much damage my hoplites have taken. This is an elevation up. Yeah, okay. Well, I'll just step up. Oh, right. Except they are even higher. Bummer. I'm just trying to protect the hoplites' health over everything else because we need the hoplites to fight the enemy horses. You know, I wasn't able to step up there, so I was kind of hoping they wouldn't be either. And they probably wouldn't have been if I had kept my units stationary and used my zone of control the way they were using theirs. But that is not what happened. Why is this showing... Oh, right, because there was just a battle on the city. Cities have trouble building stuff during combat. Or rather, there's a display issue because you cannot do stuff with the city while it is in combat, or while there is an active combat going on outside of it. They only have 1 unit in their... Oh no, that's population. Ah, they must have overbuilt military units or something. Well, yeah, let's do an assault of this city. It looks to me Like, they really screwed up here. They forgot to leave anybody on defense while they were running horsemen forward. All right, so their unit is going to get a little bit of a combat strength boost from... oh, right, I'm just deploying. I have a very limited deployment zone because of how we approached here. That's fine. So their unit is going to get a combat strength boost from fortification, as you can see there. But we are going to push inside their walls with some of our stuff. That'll help a little bit. Yeah, we have a pretty serious bonus there. Yeah, the default levy city defense unit only has 14 combat strength. Even with a lot of bonuses, it's difficult to overcome the what do you call it? The differential that we're seeing here. So, okay, can I run the archers out of this reinforcement space? Because, like, I'd love to be able to shoot at stuff. I'm not going to be able to shoot over the mountain, am I? Oh, no, looks like I am. We do lose combat strength from having no direct line of sight, but that's fine. Oof, very bad roll. And then we don't really need to pull the scout into the battle, I don't think.
Let's go.
So I will just stand over top of it. I am not going to attack with the warrior. That looks like actually quite a bad move. Yeah, attacking from outside the walls into the walls is not smart. But I want to provide combat support to my dude here. Now see that, not a great move on their part either.
Off we go.
The combat strength bonus of the walls is defensive. If you come outside of the wall, it no longer works. Okay, so the city's garrison has been roundly defeated. Am I allowed to move you? Yeah. Hooray! Ah, they did have a reinforcing unit in range, technically, it looks like. Can you hit him from there? You sure can. So yeah, standing in that river tile sucks a little bit, but this is still a pretty beneficial attack. So yeah, it's definitely a good idea to make sure you actually have vision around an attack target, so that you know exactly what the situation is and you're not surprised by reinforcing units that you didn't see. I gotta work on my military intelligence operations here. The capture of the great city of Assur was a proud day for your empire. Marching through its gates, however, it was clear the defeated citizens were equally proud of their own colorful culture. What do you make of their customs and rites? So conquering a city has given us a new civic choice. Ooh, this is a compelling one. So I gotta feel like the bonus from multiculturalism is going to be way more powerful in the long term. This is going to take us toward plus combat strength on units, whereas the other direction is food output. Again, probably a much stronger long-term bonus. Yeah, I think let's enact multiculturalism. It's going to pay itself off pretty quickly.
They say alloys are stronger than pure metals. I guess we're going to see how far that metaphor applies to human societies.
Well, I feel like mechanically it's pretty clear. A player who picks a culture at the beginning of Era 2 and then just does cultural transcendence over and over again is going to lose the game very badly. Mechanically speaking, this game is very much in favor of multiculturalism, right? So I think we probably should have these units fall back and prepare to defend, because it does look like they've got a lot of stuff headed in this direction. I'm a little surprised to see that they took the chariots on such an aggressive move rather than staying back to deal with the army that they knew was over here. They have a scout and a warrior in the area. Yeah, it just does not seem very good to me. Ah, yes, and we can sell the horses again, of course, because the ransacker is gone. So, does that give me enough money? It does not give me enough money to buy out this hoplite. And yeah, the minor visual issue there is cleared up already. That's a shame. Hoplites are very expensive. Okay, so this is down. How long is that going to take? Oh yeah, it's got to be one turn, right? The whole reason we put that down there is because of the very silly amount of industry in the area. So who are you? Scythians. Do I know? Huh. We do not know where the Scythians are from. Are these other peaceful people over here? No, these are Nok. I don't know anything about a Scythian. Oh, okay, they're like fresh. They do not have an outpost or a city. I could give them one of my outposts. Interesting. Okay, I'm not going to give them Okab because we like Okab a lot, but maybe we should have this army next turn run over and just found an outpost in one of these two regions and pass it along to the Scythians and let them sort of like tend it for us for a little while until we're ready to gain it from them. Because, you know, city cap and everything. Also, how are the Assyrians feeling having lost their capital?
Let us speak honestly.
Okay, minus 12 war support at the end of the turn. It's getting bad. So the city is not officially ours. It is an occupied city until the war is over and we can sort of administratively work out exactly what its deal will be going forward. As you can imagine, I sure would like to keep it.
Debate and discussion are not the pastimes of the idle, but the actions of thinkers and movers who will touch every aspect of civilization.
Can't quite catch up with them. I guess we'll just move forward as much as we can. You get a lot of notifications at the beginning of a turn in this game. Okay, they're turning around probably to stop this. It seems like no progress has been made on this at all. Wasn't it 5 turns last time we looked? I wonder if our combat strength changed again after... I don't know. What is the reparation here? What's the grievance here?
What do you want now?
Oh, right. Yeah, we're not paying much attention to it at this point, but our cultural and religious pressure is still pushing all over the world and conquering people, and we're winning their hearts and minds, you know? Okay. Ooh. Let's put down an outpost in... I have to be able to see the Scythian army to be able to give them stuff, though. We don't know where they went. Well, we'll put down an outpost in the region that has the wonder, and then we'll worry about it later. So I think we're probably just connecting Okab to Akkad. Doing so is going to drop Akkad's stability by 20, right? But I think that's okay. Yeah. Yeah, we can live with that. And that has gotten us access to these resources, because these were all already... presumably, we have access to these because they were all already improved when the Assyrians had control of the place. So that's cool. It's not, like, critically important, but it's all more stuff for the other players to buy. We're doing very well on resources, so... you should join up with these. We are going to have a hard time catching up with those chariots. That's just not a thing that's going to happen. So we should probably abandon this ransacking before it gets us killed. We'll just take the road over the river, and these 2 units can come and like defend the captured Assur for the moment, I suppose. And we did get ourselves a combat star. Get another one of you. And we're not going to be able to catch this army, are we? Okay, if I move right away at the beginning of the turn, we can have at them. So the penalty for losing a battle, the war support penalty for losing a battle, is a one-time thing. But the war support penalty for having lost a city hits them every single turn. So their war support is going to plummet. They're feeling sullen. Too weak to do anything about it. Yeah, that's bad news. You should not have settled behind me. I don't know what they were thinking. It does not seem like a good long-term play. So, I mean, do we maybe just... we probably just ignore this guy, right? Like, he's not going to be able to come reclaim Assur. We have units in the area. Yeah, we probably just push toward their next city. Okay, we need to manage our growth a little bit more carefully. Make sure get all the way over here. Make yourselves safe. Oh, hostile minor faction attacking us. Inconvenient. We have real vision of you now, right? I can contribute. So the Nubians, pink and brown. I wish we could compel the Nubians to take over here. It's possible that they don't have the influence necessary. You can see the cost is a little bit different than it was for that last group. But man, if the Nubians could take this over so that I don't have to worry about their troops anymore, it'd make my life a lot easier. All right, well, I'm not going to retreat. I think we should fight. As before, probably best we don't sit our troops next to the high ground. Yeah, unfortunately, my archers are just going to get punched if we do this way, though. Yeah, we sort of have to put a troop into a bad position. Well, I guess let's put the archers... No, let's put the archers right here. If they want to attack the archers, they have to surround themselves. And they can only do it with one unit. Oops, sorry. Keep clicking outside the battle. Wow, really? Did y'all think that through? Doesn't seem like a great move.
For your family. Come on. In formation.
And you're going to fall back. If they want to keep... Yep, they're going to keep at it. All right, well, that is a dead archer for sure. That is maybe the deadest archer we've ever seen.
Mercy.
5 to 25 either way. Yeah, okay.
Charge.
Again, we work hard to keep the hoplites safe, right? Preserving the health of the hoplites is high value. Am I allowed to attack you? I am. Okay. Yep, you can retreat from that. I don't know that I think that's a good idea for you, but you are allowed to do it. And we may need you all to come forward and provide a little bit of reinforcement here. Okay, and these armies just need to push forward. Yeah, having roads built alongside rivers makes rivery areas so much more navigable. That road technology is like super high value. That's true in pretty much every 4X game, but I think it is actually higher value here than usual. Oh, right, we did in fact get our iron. I should do that. And we're doing okay enough on money. I can... Yeah, it's fine. We haven't really been buying a lot of stuff out. Ugh, unfortunately, it's going to take you like 100 turns to get to the front. I'm going to chill out on the warriors at this point. I think we're good on that. So we have an okay position here. We can certainly build around it a little bit more, but like I am disincentivized to build around this thing because like a district here does almost nothing. Well, actually, maybe that's a really good reason to build this district in this position. Because it may be worth it to build something here. I'm just thinking like, the only thing it makes sense to build here is a district that does not exploit, right? Because if it exploits it all, then we should build it out into the open area. You know, we can build one over here as well. That's not bad. Yeah, let's build that one. Lots of good reasons to finish surrounding that. Okay, so we'll do that. Everybody's working on things that matter a lot. Did I have a unit that had orders already? I mean, I assume I did. Okay, I don't know who that was. Oh, it was the units up north that were going to lay down the outpost, right? So with philosophy and hydrology, what is the next most important thing? Conquest makes it cheaper to keep expanding and gives us an activity to do to gain stability. Oh, there's another point of city cap on foreign outposts. Rhetoric has another influence building, and you know, the library is very high value. So that's a science per population point no matter what they're doing, not just the ones that are attached to science. But yeah, we still have a huge amount of basic infrastructure that we need to get constructed.
Speak. I promise to pretend to listen.
Okay, so they're not yet willing to surrender, but they're dropping down to 9 war support this next turn. So I think we're close. Let's keep moving. I want to keep them near enough Assur that they can reinforce. Alright, I'm attacking you. I know you were coming over here to attack me, but I want to take up this superior position. Alright. So we'll run that battle in just a moment. I think we're going to head like directly in the direction of the remaining brown city here. Yeah, there's not really much reason for us to bother with that outpost at this point. It is now our outpost. Oh right, that's why the ransack reset is because the outpost changed controllers. At that point, it would be ransacking my own outpost, so probably best I don't do that. All right, where in this area do we actually want to lay down a thing? We have a handful of anomalies close together here. So we have some extra valuable tiles. Obviously, with the state of our religion, settling near food tiles is a big, woods tiles is a big deal. Like 515, 713, 10-6. But we want to be close to these science tiles, I think. So if we put down the outpost here, then we just have to build one science-related district to get the benefit of both of those. So I think I like this location. It's going to take forever, but we'll get there. Where do we have ruins? Is that a ruin of an... No, that's the current administrative center. Huh, it says... I'm assuming from the fact that the clear ruins is selectable that there is something to clear, but I sure don't see it. Also, did they... Okay, the Scythians put down without us. That's fine. So they're working on turning it into a city. Once it is a city, we will start making deals. So yeah, for this city then... We don't have horses here, so that doesn't make any sense. We did get the forge. Yeah, I feel like a forge is pretty solid. Get a benefit for the copper that we're working here. All right, and then let's come down and win this battle, shall we? It does have to be a win. It's very important that it be a win. So we have a 28 strength unit and a 29 strength unit that gets +8 against all of their stuff. We'd have to screw up pretty badly, which is possible. It is possible that I could lose this. So let's not get overconfident, is all I'm saying. For the moment, I guess just sort of like morale ball with the spear in front. That's pretty poor damage. That's pretty great damage. Yeah. Soften them up. Very high roll. Excellent news. And then, like, the question is, do I bring the warriors to here to limit the surface area? I think that's probably an okay idea. Let's just make it so that they can't rush me with all 3 of their horse units. Because between the 3 of them, they might be able to gather up and do enough damage for it to mean something, right? Okay, I'm fine sacrificing a little warrior health. That's not a big deal. Archers can move forward to here and lose the no line of sight penalty, right? Nope, they're still, probably because of the elevation. Yep, that's also no line of sight. Oh, there's a nice little, like, indicator on the tile, I think. Well, that's fine. We still do it. Doesn't really matter where I attack from. And then can you just fall back to high ground? Yeah. We just do that and we deploy one of our reinforcement units. Oh, did I? Ah, right. I didn't deploy the unit before taking my final turn, so we had no units that had actions left on the battlefield. Because obviously what I meant to do there was take up the other high ground space so that they could not get on the high ground. All right, easy enough. Friend, I gotta tell you, your future's looking a little bit dim there.
Your presence darkens my day.
Okay, well their war support's gonna go negative next turn, so they will offer the surrender. I was curious if they would just go ahead and do it now, since it's obvious that their war support's becoming 0, but no, they're gonna wait until it's actually down there. So, am I allowed to start dealing with you? I am. You could, in theory, get sniped at any moment by these other players, and even just base contribution, because our ideological orientations are so different, has like pretty serious costs. Yep. Not just increased, but increased tremendously. I don't know that I'm going to bother. That's a lot of money. We could use that money to buy stuff, to buy like buildings and districts. Feels like a much better move. Although, actually, it turns out to still not be very much money relative to districts. Oh, sorry, resources.
A pleasure as always.
What we should be buying is resources. Show me your dies. How much do I have to pay for your dies? Oh boy, if I'm honest, that's more than I was expecting. That's the, what does that treaty say? Buyer is acquitted from paying any non-essential fees. I guess I don't understand what is meant by essential fees there. You know, essential versus non-essential. It still is probably right to spend our money buying access to their resources, but I was thinking it was going to be a little cheaper than that. I mean, the marble's very good. Yeah, it's still right. Like, resources are high value. The dye. Do we have enough dye for our cities? Because I don't think a city can benefit from... Maybe it can. See, but you're not... Oh, you know what? Maybe this isn't showing showing benefit. It's just showing what is located in this city? Maybe? I'm not actually sure. We might have to do some testing to figure out exactly what cities are getting what. That's a thing we can do. We can suss out the function of these mechanics. Yeah, so that's a thing to worry about later. So for the moment, let's just not buy access to the stuff that we do have for ourselves, but like buying resources that generate money, obviously, has some value here.
People. And who are they?
Stuff will pay itself off eventually. Did we meet a new independent people by doing that? Man, they are everywhere. So we knew these three already. When you buy access to a resource deposit, you do get vision of it, which must have revealed to us a unit. Cassites. No, we knew Cassites are from Durkari Gazu. Huh. I don't know who the new people we saw was. I guess it doesn't matter. Anyway, let us push to finish this war. Yep, the Maya are already well out of war support. Sadly, they do not have a road here, so we do actually have to just end the turn crossing the river. One of y'all can jump in there. Will I accept this offer? So, the surrender terms. Right now, they're willing to accede to all of our demands. Right? They must give in to all of the demands that we had on them when the war started. Plus, they have to pay some amount of money as reparation to pay off our war support, basically. So, I can demand... I want to keep a Sir. It's going to take 1,000 coins off of the reparation value, but I think that's pretty obviously right. Right, I'm not allowed to try to take that from them because we don't own it. I can just make them my vassal. If we don't take a Sir, I can just vassalize them. I don't exactly know how the mechanics for vassalization work. Abandoning their diplomatic independence. I mean, let's do it, right? Let's try a thing that we don't exactly know the function of. We will figure out how the vassal relationship works. And they will have to give us these 3 regions.
So, will this independent people be an
We
ally?
are
or-
very appreciative.
We are at your mercy.
Okay, so let's have a look. Yep, and then people are buying access to my new resources.
A pleasure as always.
What's up? Did they generate a... Yeah, they're always generating grievances. It's fine. Ah, interesting. I get to see all of the grievances that my vassal is generating. Yeah, it turns out Brown loves to trespass on people's territory. It's like their favorite thing. So, okay. We gained regions.
Even if it's not yours, any human-built wonder is an impressive feat of design and construction. Makes me wish I'd done it.
I'm assuming he said that because I moused over a tile that had a wonder in it. Somebody else bought a wonder, right? The Hittites have Stonehenge. I must have gotten the tile that has Stonehenge on screen or something. Well, I mean, good for them. We should probably actually build our wonder at some point here. Okay, so yeah, we've gained some territory that's not connected to anything. What we should probably do, really, is turn like a churd into a city and then connect Wazin and Rastaban to that. That's probably the most efficient way to like really take proper control of all of this territory. And then Brown gets to keep Assur and Ninua, but that's it, actually. 2 single territory cities. Yeah, that's a pretty good outcome for us, actually. And we got remarkably close to the 2nd militarist star. So if we can just find one more minor faction hostile army to beat, we can go and get that, which will be worth 200 fame. There still has not been any fame decay. We're really not very far into the era. We're pushing real close to that scientist star as well. All right, I think this era has been going wonderfully for us. This, I think, though, is a pretty good place to call it for today, and thank you all so much for watching. When you come back next time, tomorrow, we're going to figure out some way to press this new advantage. I don't really know what, but I mean, I have to imagine there are a lot of options open to us with a vassal and everything. And we'll see you then.